Thank you, Timmy. It's just after 10 p.m. here in the UK, and the queue to say farewell to the Queen is around 4 kilometres long. Her Majesty lying in state at Westminster Hall after a pretty emotional procession with the royal family.
We're joined now by author and royal correspondent for Vanity Fair, Katie Nicholl in London. Nice to see you this morning, Katie. Can I ask, the level of emotion that we've seen from people today, has that level of emotion surprised you?
Not really, no. I mean, this hardened hack who's done this job for the past 20 years shed a tear. I fortunately was off air. I was watching the procession behind the BBC studios, and I think it was impossible not to be moved by the scenes that we witnessed. This was the final farewell. I mean, we will never see the Queen again at Buckingham Palace. The last time I was outside Buckingham Palace was, of course, for the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, watching the Queen up on that balcony where I've seen her so many times. And it really hit home to me in that moment that we would never see her again. And of course, you know, the echoes of past royal funerals, more recently, the Duke of Edinburgh, and that extraordinary funeral we had during the COVID pandemic at St George's, not a state funeral, because that's not what the Duke of Edinburgh wanted. This is a state funeral. This was the procession to the lying in state. And simply put, we've just not seen anything on a scale like this in the UK, certainly not in my lifetime.
It was absolutely magnificent. They do it so well. Look, we saw King Charles lead the way with his 2 boys. I've seen you on BBC in the mornings and in the afternoons, in fact, working around the clock at the moment, talking about that. I mean, is there peace now across the lands, do you think, or is it moving in the other direction?
I'd love to tell you that it's all reconciled and everything is going to be just okay. And, you know, I think as we saw from the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral, you know, it was going to take more than a funeral to bring them together. But you know what? They were shoulder by shoulder, side by side at today's procession. If you remember back to the Duke's funeral, Peter Phillips, their cousin, had been very strategically and quite deliberately put between the 2 brothers. And I think, you know, it was absolutely the Queen's wish, not just to bring the nation, England, the United Kingdom together in her death, but her family as well. And all members of her family were there and represented today. And I think it was quite right and absolutely what we'd all hoped for, to see William and Harry shoulder by shoulder. Is this the beginning of a rapprochement, a reconciliation? Well, I know and I can tell you it's absolutely what King Charles III wants. It's absolutely what Queen Elizabeth II wanted. Unfortunately, she didn't get to see it in her lifetime. But I think there's every hope that they will be able to put things behind them. But it depends on a lot of factors. Is this autobiography going to come out? Are Harry and Meghan going to give more damaging interviews? You know, the hope is that they won't and that bridges can be built.
Well, I mean, I know you've got a new book coming out in the coming days. We'll be able to shed a little bit more light on that.
I'd love to come back on the show with both of you and tell you all about it. It's going to be serialised in Vanity Fair next week, so head to Vanity Fair for a sneak peek, and I promise you I will come back onto the Today Show to share more of it with you. But it feels very timely, and I look forward to sharing some scoops with you when I can.
Good on you, Katie. It's been a big few days, and I know you felt it this morning too, and last night when the Queen came home. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Katie. Well, 2 Australians in the crowd were Belinda Walsh and her daughter Ella, who join us here at our makeshift studio. I hope you like it.
Gee, it's nice to hear some Aussie accents.
Hi, Karl. Hi, Ellie.
How are you?
Good to see you both.
Whereabouts are you from?
We're from Niddrie in Victoria.
Are you?
Yeah.
And you've watched it all unfold. How's it been?
It's been very surreal. Like, seeing London in mourning has been a very different experience than what I expected London to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you arrived just after the Queen had passed away.
Correct.
What was it like arriving and sort of seeing London? What was the mood, and how have the past few days been?
Really sombre. Everyone's united. no matter what colour, race, religion, you know, ethnicity. It's a country in mourning, no matter where you go, whether it be the subway, in hotel foyers, or everyone's united. A sense of calm, and just, yeah, really, really special to be here at a momentous time like this, never to be repeated.
And you obviously consume all of your media through TikTok. What's been the trending TikTok today on the royal family?
A lot of old flashbacks of Queen Elizabeth and her family, King Charles, and Princess Royal.
And what do you think
when you say old,
it?
do you mean like 2000, 1990 kind of stuff?
No, like back to the 50s, 60s. When I see it, it makes me feel very joyous seeing it, because knowing that the royal family is like any other family in the world, except they've got this major role of looking after the Commonwealth, is quite surreal.
And Ellie, you're 12. What do your mates all think that you're over here in London? It's such a special, momentous time that you will remember for the rest of your life.
I don't know what to say about that, but I probably think it's quite a cool experience, and they probably wonder how it is and what I think of it.
Do they wonder how it is that you've managed to get off halfway through a term?
Well...
and did you tell your teacher where you were going, by the way?
Yes, she knew. I was very excited. Talked about it for a month before, so yeah.
How have you had the experience? How would you sum it up?
Oh, just once in a lifetime. We'll never see another leader, let alone another queen like her. Absolute privilege to be here on behalf of Australia. We've seen a lot of Aussies around, and we're all the same. She's led us so well. Deep sense of loss, to be honest. It feels like, I don't know, what's going to happen now with King Charles, and that's certainly the question a lot of people have asked in our travels, and I suppose the world will wait and watch, but certainly a great sense of loss.
Well said.
And just on one slightly lighter note, there's this vicious rumour that you reckon Karl's all right.
Karl is one of our favourites, but Ali, you're up there too, so we'd never ever discount that. No,
This is my moment to shine.
No, the women have got to stick together, Karl. If you don't know that already.
All right. Hey, lovely to see you. Safe travels.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having us.
Lovely to see you. Thanks,
no
guys.
worries. Well, it's been an extraordinary privilege. I've got to tell you, everyone at home this week, to be watching history with you at home. The atmosphere here every day has been very moving, but none more so than today.
Hundreds of thousands of people we know gathered around to see the Queen off from the palace for the last time. It was a sentimental moment. I don't think any of us who were there will ever forget. That moment was so overwhelming. It was stirring to see the Queen's coffin go past, followed by her children and her grandchildren, William and Harry, side by side. And the whole crowd went silent in that moment. This is a woman who means so many things to so many different people. And I think all of us are finding it really difficult to articulate what that moment just meant. Talk me through that moment that you just witnessed.
Terribly emotional. I actually remember the coronation of the Queen, so it was good to be here at this moment, witnessing her last move from Buckingham Palace.
What were you feeling when you saw
You're still shaking, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I tried to video it, but my hands were going so much I had to stop.
What did you make of that?
Surprisingly emotional. It feels like saying goodbye, and it's sadder than I thought.
Why is it so hard?
She's always been there all my life, and she's gone now. But we have continuity with Charles, thank goodness.
Someone that you don't realise, but you just feel like is a permanent fixture in your life, to disappear no matter how remote they are.
What was it like when she went past?
it was just, I felt so heavy on my chest. I didn't know. It's difficult.
Time sort of stops for a moment.
Yeah.
And you kind of just realise the gravity of what's going on.
Can you talk me through the emotions of seeing the coffin go past?
Yeah, I think there was almost a slight danger of people forgetting why they were here. We'd been here for several hours, but as soon as the guns were fired and the band started, it was really emotional, actually. Sorry. Yeah, I just find it quite emotional.
Why do you think so many people are feeling the emotion that you're clearly feeling right now?
I think not only because obviously Her Majesty was a legend in terms of the UK, she was Britain. But I think also, sorry, I think you relate to your own family, somebody that you've lost, in your own family.
Sorry, I feel a bit silly.
You don't have to feel silly. Why do you think it produces so much emotion? Why she did?
I was in the military for quite a while, so she was my commander-in-chief. But I think also because she was such a strong woman, such a great person, and I think what she represented.
What did you love about her?
Just seemed, I know it was her job, but she always seemed to have that bit of extra time for everybody. So you hear stories now about, at the moment, how the guys from the guards and that would be stood outside, and next thing a tray would come out with cold drinks on it, saying, "Oh, the Queen wants to make sure you've got a drink."
Wow.
So just little touches like that, I think, probably.
What was at the heart of that need to physically be here?
I don't know. I think she's done a lot for our country, and
she's been present for us.
Yes.
Why would we not be present for her? And to show us that she was there for us and stood in solidarity with us through COVID, and she did all the right things through COVID, even through one of the hardest experiences anyone would ever go through. And I went through a similar experience when I was through COVID, and I was alone, and it felt like at least she was there with us, and why would I not be here with her when she was with us?
What do you remember most about it all?
How she showed us what the sense of duty is, and what she did for this country was absolutely amazing.
If you could say anything to her, what would it be?
Thank you for everything.
Just thank you.
Thank you. It's powerful, isn't it? And that shot there of the State Imperial Crown on top of the coffin. And so many people are still lining up tonight. 4Ks is how long the line is, waiting hours, will wait throughout the entire night so they can walk past and do that. Bow their heads,
say their own
curtsy.
goodbye.
Yeah, and you wonder what they're thinking in that moment.
G'day, it's Ali.
And Karl.
Thanks for watching the Today YouTube channel.
Subscribe now for brand new videos every day and exclusive bonus clips.
Ali, say please.
Please? Why?
Please? I don't know.